Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at the market site in Times Square, New York City, we have Charlie Brown. He's the managing director on Nasdaq's market intelligence desk with our midday update. And the major averages just continue with that upside momentum since the phase one trade deal was signed. Charlie, it really is quite incredible. We haven't looked back since last Thursday.
No, we haven't. They continue to power forward. I think today is a little bit muted, and that's primarily because of Federal Express's earnings. They came out, they missed. They guided lower. That's the second time they've done that. If you consider Federal Express as a bellwether for economic growth, then you have some cause for concern. The reality probably is that they bungled their TNT acquisition a little bit, and they've also had a blow up with Amazon. So I think that's what's really keeping the markets back.
All right, and also impeachment. Stocks are kind of reacting.
That's kind of we wrote in our note today, it's kind of a sideshow. I think everybody doesn't expect him to be impeached when it goes to the Senate in January if the hearings are approved. So it's much ado about nothing, and everybody's just sort of like watching on the sideline.
Which is so ironic because I remember President Trump tweeting if he's impeached, the markets are going to tank. They're hitting, I mean, all the major averages have hit all-time intraday highs today. Let's take a look at our first chart here. This is the S&P 500, and we can, continue to see the movement there.
We do. The two charts we're going to show is basically showing the resilience of the marketplace. The S&P 500 is up 27% so far for the year. But you consider all the noise that's going around surrounding the marketplace. We've got trade uncertainty. We have impeachment hearings going on. We've got global manufacturing data that's not good, but markets continue to power forward. S&P 500 is now on pace for its fourth straight month of gains, its sixth straight day of gains, and it looks like it'll end the year probably its best year since 2013.
All right, moving along to the Russell 2000, finally getting some participation here, hitting a 52-week high today.
Right, we talked about the Russell 2000 in pretty context in November, where we see a consolidation range around the 1600 level. We broke through that, and we continued to trade higher. We just broke through the 1658 level. There doesn't seem to be any resistance there whatsoever up until 2018 highs, which is about 1742. So we see it continuing to progress without any other outside noise interfering.
All right. Now, on the markets intelligence desk, you are in touch with hundreds of companies day in and day out. How concerned are they going into 2020, or has signing the phase one deal alleviated some of that?
Not at all. Nothing has been signed. I think there's a lot of concern. I think there's a lot of wait and see. I don't think anybody's, going everything in right now. Everybody has seen this whole sort of scenario play out back and forth. I think companies are expecting to see that to continue for some time.
All right. Thanks for the insight, Charlie. And great to have you with me as always. And thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.